There we go. Wow. Feels brighter than usual? Something's changed. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Medley number 155. It's Thursday. Okay. Good morning, Easy Door. Good morning, Cyber. Good morning, Liana. Hello, Lost in the Mind. Welcome. I don't know if you've ever been to one while it's happening, but I appreciate you appreciate you for making it into this one. Good morning, daughter. I just finished exercising myself, daughter. Or no? Good morning, Kiwi. Good morning, Darius. Hello. Well, that's exciting, daughter. Starting a new routine. Good on you. Very proactive. Um, that was Spring Street. Today I want to talk a little bit about nerves. I can't remember who it was in the stream. It might have been Lindsay. Well, it was several people, but I'm trying to remember who asked it most recently. I get asked a lot if I get nervous before performances, or how I play in front of a bunch of people. I mean, excluding the live stream, I mean like actual physical crowds of people without getting nervous. My answer to that is always that, oh, I just don't get nervous anymore, which is true at live shows. However, it was Sky. Oh, wow, Leanna's memory is better than mine, and it was Sky. Sky's also asked me that in person, too. I think my answer changes every time she asks it, but anyways, something I realized about myself recently is that I don't really get nervous before live shows, or at least not enough for it to impede my performance. However, when it comes to recording music, I feel like I never play as well. Once I hit the record button, I never play as well as when I'm just like playing freeform, like for you guys, or like at a train station, or when I'm just improvising. Something about hitting the record button makes me a little bit more self-conscious or self-aware, depending on what perspective you want to look at it from, of what I'm doing. And it always makes me mess up more. It makes me like a little bit more susceptible to make mistakes because I'm like focusing too hard almost. Like I'm not relaxing as much when I play because I'm worrying about timing and stuff like that, quantization and tempo and whatnot. So I was recording. That song? I was recording that song 2 days ago, 2 days, maybe 3 days ago, and somehow just this part, it wasn't sounding good, and I don't know what it is. I was trying to play it on that keyboard over there. Oh, whoa, Kaisa, whoa, how you doing? How have you been? That's wild. Welcome, by the way, Kaisa. But I was trying to play it on that keyboard over there, which doesn't have weighted keys, and it just wasn't coming out sounding good. And then I tried playing it on this one over here, and somehow it still sounded like weird. I can't tell if that's the quality of the keyboard sound when I record it. It just sounds bad when it's being played back to me. I don't know what it is. One thing I will say though is that reverb is important. If you don't know what reverb is, crap, I don't even really know what reverb is. Can't tell you guys what it is. I don't know what it is. Reverb. Anybody in the chat who knows what reverb is want to take a stab at trying to define reverb for somebody who doesn't know what it is or has never heard it or of it? Hello, Maddie, and good morning to you. Anybody want to try? Because I want to say reverb is just a room. It's like the way sound behaves in a space, you know? But that's so vague. There has to be a more succinct and specific definition for that, for like a layman, for somebody that doesn't really understand music stuff. Can't say I know what it means, says Kaisa. Like echo, says Kiwi. It's not like echo, but yeah, no. Echo. Is it like echo? No, because that's more. I would say the echo is almost like. Wow. The two things are similar and related for sure, but they're not the same. Because that's what I was going to say, and I was like, no, that won't work. I think of it as like background oscillation. Holy crap. Yeah, but how are you going to explain background oscillation to somebody that doesn't know it? Okay. Yeah, the room. Well, okay, so the space. The space. Reverb is sound as it exists in a space. Oh my god. Any analogy I come up with is going to be inadequate. I've learned about music and music theory from you than I ever have from my piano teacher. You need to fire your teacher because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Cyber says reverb is the sound it makes when you sing in the shower. That right. There is shower reverb. Hi Ava. Oh wow, everybody's coming back in. Welcome family. Remember to like the video. That's the easiest way to explain it without the proper terms. Okay. I think room, yeah, a room is the best way to describe it. In the same way, I mean, in a similar way that if I were to, oh my goodness, if I were to burn an incense in a closet versus burning an incense in a basketball stadium, there's going to be a little bit difference in like your intake of the incense. In a basketball stadium, it's probably going to disperse amongst the stadium for sure, but it's going to be spread so thin that you're probably not going to smell very much of it. Versus in a closet, if you burn an incense, you might actually have trouble breathing because you're intaking so much of the smoke from the incense. My point is, sound operates kind of the same way that the smell and smoke from an incense would work in that regard, where if you change the room size, you can change the way your voice sounds. If somebody's singing in an opera, like a concert hall, or if you're singing in the shower, like Cyber put it. Now, size aren't the only things. I mean, size is a thing that influences smell sometimes, right? How we're talking about the instance, or like somebody farts in a car versus farting in a basketball stadium. Stadium? Basketball court? Come back to that later. Anyway, smell operates that way. Sound, however, it's not just the size of the room. It can also be the shape of the room, if it's a long room or if it's a circular room, if it's a dome. And it can also be influenced by what the room is made out of. Is this room made out of wood? Is it made out of tin? Is it made out of steel? Is it made out of cotton? It's like a pillow fort or something like that. A lot of these things can change the way sound operates inside of a space. Hello, Valkyrie. Welcome back. And hello, Bobby Evans. Glad to see both of you doing A-okay. A lot of these things can influence the room, which is why when you go inside of a professional recording studio, usually they'll have like stuff up on the wall. This does change the reverb of the sound in that room. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up is to connect back to my earlier point with how sometimes recording my instruments, for example, this piano, I hear this piano every morning, typically, because I'm streaming all the time. I know how this piano sounds. However, I know how it sounds in my bedroom. If I take a instrument cable and I plug it into this keyboard, and I plug that cable into my interface or into my computer to record this, it's going to sound different because it's bypassing the reverb of my room. So a lot of the times when I record this specific keyboard into my interface, it doesn't sound good. And when I say good, maybe just it doesn't sound consistent with what I expect from this keyboard. Now, a more accurate way to record this, I know, would be to just mic the keyboard. So I'm still capturing the reverb of my room. But as a lot of you know, I do not have a microphone. Yes, Dar, I am a very veiny person. Also, I do want to point out, I do this stream right after working out, Dar. So I'm probably more veiny during the stream than I would typically be. But, yeah. I'm sorry, Dar. I'm sorry if this is scary. I can wear a long sleeve shirt. I think I have a long sleeve shirts. It would just get kind of hot. Sounds very depending on the space they're made in. Absolutely, Kaisa. So, a lot of times we can get, I'm not going to project, a lot of times I can get attached to a sound. Oh. Weird. I've never heard my computer make that noise before. Anyways, a lot of times we can get attached to a sound. For example, I am kind of attached or used to, accustomed to the way this piano sounds. And as I described, when I record it direct in, bypassing the sound of my room's reverb, I don't particularly like the sound. It's different. It's weird. The same thing happens for people in their own voices. we talked about this in the past stream. It might have been Bobby Evans, but somebody recommended like this, like a tool that you like sing into, and it takes the sound and puts it directly into your ear, so you can hear what you sound like when you sing, or just talk. A lot of us get used to the way our voice sounds from our own ears, and it's like other people aren't really hearing that. Also, we're feeling. Oh man, I don't want to get too deep into it, but when you talk, you can feel your voice. You know, you're feeling the vibrations of your vocal cords. Your body, like if you put your hand on your chest, you can feel vibrations every time you make a sound from your mouth. Other people can't feel your voice, and feel does influence how you're hearing something. For example, if you're listening to music in a car with like a really, really good sound system versus listening to that same music from like a stereo standing a few feet away from it, you're not feeling it. Sometimes feeling can influence sound. Without getting too off topic or sidetracked, I just wanted to say that is why I can sometimes get nervous, or sometimes I have trouble recording things, because I get so used to the way the thing sounds to me in my bedroom, from my keyboard, in my room's reverb, that when I play it anywhere else through any other instrument, it just sounds weird, and it can be hard. It can be hard for me to like make a compromise. Is the right word. That's the word I'm looking for. A tubaloo, I think it's called. A tubaloo. Thank you, Bobby. Maddie's making a joke. I'm gonna dissect this joke for a second, because Maddie's making a joke about a movie called Breakin'. If you have seen Breakin', you and I are the same. If you haven't seen Breakin', please watch Breakin'. But there's a movie, you guessed it, about breakdancing called Breakin'. That's an amazing film. And there's a sequel called Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, which a lot of people hated on. But I would argue it's just as good as the first. Now I don't want to dig into the movies specifically, but the reason that that joke specifically is funny to me, Maddie, was probably it hits me on two levels. It hits you maybe, Maddie, the one that made it, only on one level, but there's a reverb plugin in FL Studio called Reverb 2. It's called Fruity Reverb 2. So saying you comment Reverb 2 Electric Boogaloo, I've actually made that joke, but I made that joke for entirely different reasons than why you're making it today. Isn't that interesting? Hello, Thadley. Welcome back to the stream. I hope you've been okay. Hope you've been staying to it, doing it with the music. Everybody in the stream, Thadley also makes music. Leanna says, are in the front row of a show with the bass in your chest. Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know how those people do it. Good morning, Eusaria. Eusaria's back. I'm having shirt envy, says Valkyrie. For this? For this? Nah. Whoever thought of electric boogaloo, I wonder if they know how powerful that phrase is, says Ava. Everybody in the stream, please go see the movie Breakin'. Omocat is just too good, says Valkyrie. I have such a weird relationship with Omocat. Hey, if you're in the stream and you like the stream, please remember to like the video. For those people in the stream that don't know what Omocat is, they make shirt. They make shirt. I have a few of the shirt they make. That's a valid fear, Bobby. regret. I regret joining Discord. Just thoughts. Just my thoughts today. I get horrid sleep. I suffer night terrors and have really vivid dreams. It's not for me. That's a Bobby Evans comment. Bobby, I used to have night terrors too. I had night terrors for quite a few years of my youth, and then, oh, whoa, I moved here, and they went away. I also used to sleepwalk. I still have the vivid dreams, but somehow moving to Los Angeles cured, I don't want to use the word cured, somehow moving to Los Angeles made my anxiety lessen. It's really weird, right? You would think it would do the exact opposite. We went to Red Lobster with Rico Nasty, and we were cousins at the entire dinner. We sang, "Hey cousin." Wow. Rico Nasty actually looks like two of my cousins. Maybe we are related. I haven't been to a Red Lobster though in at least 10 years. No, it's been more. It's been longer. I was like a child, like a little child. Like I had a kids menu child last time I was at Red Lobster. Discord, then I joined and somehow I don't check them. Yeah, whatever, right? I feel the same way. Same exact thing happened to me. They got me too, Liana. I used to work at Red Lobster, says Ava. They make the waitresses do much so much. Oh, you're so busy. Well, they overwork their waitresses. Discord is just a communication tool. Just happens to be my favorite since it's like an ever-present chat room. Chats kill me. Whenever I'm in like a group chat, I never say anything, and I also slowly stop reading stuff. Right now I'm in 5 line group chats, 2 Twitter group chats or group DMs, and I have Slack and I have Discord. And honestly, there's just constantly messages showing up on my laptop and computer now that aren't directed at me. And I feel like I've willfully attended a party that I have no intention of talking to anyone at. This song's called French Lavender. It's a part of the Quarantine series. I made a music video for it because I went up somewhere pretty north, like a little bit north of LA, called Mammoth in Los Angeles, or Mammoth in California. I had never been in a snowstorm before, and I got to finally, and then I finalized this song. Because I started it before I went. Money says I'm usually on Facebook Messenger for my roommate group chat. Otherwise, I just text. Word. Hmm. Cyber. I want everybody to bow their heads in prayer. You know, wait a second. That's from something though. That's why I keep playing it because I hope that if I kept repeating it, I would remember what that's from. What is that? I mean, it's so simple. It's probably from a lot of things, but there's a specific song I'm hearing. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Hope nobody actually bowed their head in prayer. I mean, alright. I mean, if you wanted to. I don't know what you're praying for. Maybe money? I remember. Okay, so I was raised in the church. I apologize to anybody who this may offend. Keep in mind, these are words of a grown man. Words of a grown man recounting the feelings of a very broken child. But I remember treating prayer as if it was like a. Well, some people still do this as adults, but I thought it was like a genie, but prayer was like. You know when you, well, I haven't played Pokemon recently. But remember when you were trying to catch a Pokemon and you would throw like a Pokeball or a Great Ball or whatever, Ultra Ball at it, and it does a little shaky thing? And you feel like you got it, you know, you feel like he was pretty weak. He was poisoned. I put him to sleep. He only has like, I don't know, 50 HP left, but I don't know. It's a dice roll. I feel like the odds are in my favor, but that little idiot can probably pop out at any minute. So you're just looking at it shake, and the thing opens and you're like, come on. But then it doesn't, at a certain time that it doesn't, you're like, yeah, I'm freaking good at this game, so yeah, I freaking crushed it. That's how prayer was for me when I was a kid. I thought that God, or whatever was being taught to me that God was kind of like a genie that was kind of broken most of the time. And you would pray for something, you're like, yo, God, please let me get an A on this, or please, God, let freaking Ansem die in this next Keyblade swing. Please let the save data not be corrupted. Please, God, let these people not follow me home from school. Please let this cop go on and pass me. You pray. And then sometimes it works, you know, sometimes the Pokeball stops wiggling, but sometimes it comes out. And at a certain point in my childhood life, I think I just realized I wasn't good at the game. I was like, I don't like these odds. I don't like that I have to just keep throwing the Pokeball and hoping for the best, so I just stopped throwing the Pokeball after a while. This is a weird analogy about me leaving the church as a teenager. Kid James says, our store has a history of not pushing county guidelines, though, so I'm worried. Talking about their target. I feel like there's a lot of that happening, even like where I live, right? Like there will be like an LA county, like, hey, don't do this or do this, and people for the most part enforce it. But there's a lot of places that are just like, yo, we're not going to enforce it. What are you going to do? Call the cops on this? And they just don't enforce it. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes they don't enforce it in a way that's like actually kind of dope, but sometimes they don't enforce it in a way that's like potentially dangerous. That's an interesting way to look at it on me. Again, words of a grown man recounting the feelings of a child. That is what it felt like to me as a kid. Somebody who played Pokemon and also went to church a lot. I was just like, yo, these Pokeballs ain't like freaking. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I don't know if me throwing the Pokeball matters. I think the Pokemon just has to want to go. The Pokemon just has to be like mad depressed and like want it to be over. Okay, Jordan says it sounds like a song that would have lyrics. He will return with glory. He will redeem us. Oh crap! I'm never playing that again. It does sound like contemporary Christian music. We have Cyber to thank for that that analysis of some pretty boring chords and melody. These Pokeballs ain't gonna throw themselves. This is true. This is true, Cyber. Completely different and fresh perspective on it. Somebody's got to throw the Pokeballs. Somebody got the pokeballs. Anywho, church was whatever. You know, without getting into the grits that we all know, I'm very very carefully trying to sidestep here. Going to church, I remember the only part of church that I liked, other than no, I'm not going to talk about that. The only part of church that I liked, other than the part of church that I'm not going to mention, is the praise and worship part. It was the only part that wasn't boring for me. Why is Christian music so boring? Says Kaisa. Okay, all right. All right. That's so great. I'm so glad that you said that because I'm about to get into it. I grew up in the church too, and I found the gospel music to be so generic and boring. Okay, so there are a lot of different types of Christian music, right? CCM, or contemporary Christian music, which is what Cyber brought up, is extremely. I don't want to say the word boring. I'll say it's extremely clean and sterile. It's like, yo, we know what we need to do. We need 3 chords. We need to say how much we love God. We need it to be 3.5 minutes. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then they do it, and it's great. It's great. However, the church that I grew up in, we're not listening to CCM. We're not playing CCM. So when I say that the part of the service that I enjoyed as a kid being praise and worship, the reason I say that is because the music was not boring at the church that I went to because I grew up in a black church. Specifically a black Southern Baptist church where the music was like, yo, it was like going to a freaking Kirk Franklin concert like once a week. Like, you were like sweating at the end of praise and worship. I remember sweating, and I remember at a certain point, not actually like the songs were about things. They were about like Christian things, but I just like didn't really care at the time. I was just like, yo, these freaking musicians are amazing. And I remember there was this one dude named Aaron. Sorry, Aaron, if that wasn't your name. I think his name was Aaron, and he had a bass guitar. He was the bass guitar for praise and worship, and he was always doing like the wildest things. And I was like, why on earth? I remember thinking that as a kid. That's so weird. As a kid, not even in the music industry, I was like, why aren't they like a band? Like, why aren't they like getting paid? Why aren't they like touring or something like that? Why are they just playing for us for free every week? But anyways, I ended up later in my years buying that same bass from it. It was a red Yamaha bass, and it's up on the wall in my parents' home because it was my first music instrument purchase. Anyways, hello Andrew. Welcome to the stream and good morning to you. And you remember that story about when Pokemon Go came out and there was a church in the deep south that was a gym, and the pastor of the church thought the game was satanic and referred to as Pokemon as digital demons. Yes, I do remember that. Also, a lot of churches were gyms. I don't know if it was intentional, but like a lot of churches were gyms. It wasn't even 50-50. Like, chances are if you saw a church anywhere, it was a Pokemon Go gym. I think it was just because churches are so plentiful, and you can approach a church generally without it being like a nuisance, right? Like if they made Pokemon gyms gas stations, it would be kind of weird if a bunch of people were like crowded out and like the. Anyways, yes, a lot of churches were Pokemon gyms. I'm not even Christian anymore. They be running around and they're screaming, dancing, jumping like they. I remember. Oh my God, Bobby. Okay, so I remember there was times where like, if I could just go to that part of church. If I could just like cherry pick that part of church and attend that once a week, I still would. Because I remember like the High Peas Bean. I remember in like we'd be doing prayer, and then I could tell when praise and worship was getting ready to start because I would see like the choir like start, you know, getting up there, and they're all coming out of the back. There was like this part behind the pulpit where they would like file out of it, and I was like, oh yeah, and we start getting like loosened up and everything. When praise and worship started, I remember like climbing onto pews, like jumping from one pew to another pew, and like freaking like drop kicking nothing. Like, you could do anything. It was just such a great, for me as a kid who had just like a lot of energy. It was great when I would hear like ding 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 ding, just like getting up like just going like Jackie Chan on a bunch of like invisible demons. I don't know. Like it was so what I needed at that time. And I think that a lot of like chord selections and movements in some of my songs, not in a lot of my songs, but some of my songs are informed by that very, very pivotal moment in my childhood. You could do anything. You could do anything. I remember like doing like front flips and stuff like that. I don't even think I was dancing. I mean, you were dancing sometimes, but sometimes you would just be like climbing on stuff. I was like climbing on stuff, and just jumping off, like throwing myself in the walls and stuff. Freaking dope. Ugh. I would hazard to say that praise and worship at Southern Baptist churches is still like some of the dopest like concert experience. Like I've gone to see concerts, like real bands, like bands that I've loved for years, and it hasn't like the energy level hasn't been on that. Like people like crying, sweating, freaking like juking. Oh my goodness. Anyways, Cyrus says I'm gonna do a full karate performance at church. Yeah, it was so sick. And like for those of you that know, I have like a lot of brothers and sisters, so we were just like getting in the cut, freaking doing cartwheels and stuff like that. It was so dope. It had. I will say, for me and a lot of my siblings, and this is a no knock to anything, it actually had little to do with religion, and it had little to do with worshiping. It was called praise and worship. Little to do with praising, little to do with worshiping, kind of very little to do with religion as a whole. I think it was just you had to sit and watch just like boring talking, talk, preach, talk. That when the music started, it was almost like recess. Like imagine like recess when you're a kid in elementary school. It's not like there's anything special out there. There's nothing that's out there that wasn't there when you arrived at school or wasn't out there yesterday. It's just that you've been cooped up for so long that having like 20 to 40 minutes to just while out, like you just scream. Kids are just screaming on the playground just because they couldn't, 5 minutes ago. Anyways, Thadley says, I went to a couple of Christian beach retreats as a kid. And the stuff I remembered is praise and worship music and the games. Yeah, right? Isn't that interesting? There's a much greater conversation, right, about how music kind of does that to people, whether it's in church or it's a concert or whatever, or even if it's like you're in elementary school, you're in second grade, and they're teaching you to like clean up, everybody up. Like something about music makes people like, oh, I can get on board with this, even if the lyrics or the message behind the music is harmful, which we're not going to talk about that, but that's also a thing. Now I want to go with praise and worship at that church, says Soothsayer. Hi, by the way, Soothsayer. Good morning. My time is up. Everyone says, Eusaria, have a great day. It was great to catch up with you. Aw, thank you for coming in, Eusaria. We all appreciate you for making the time. Hope to see you in another one sometime soon. 45 minutes of one person talking is so long. 45 minutes of one. I don't know how I did it. You know what I would do actually? Sometimes because I remember you would be able to leave during Sunday school. It was like you would stay in the sanctuary for a little while, and then at a certain point in time they were like, let the kids go to Sunday school, and you would go and they would be like, did you know that Job had a really rough life, and praise be. Like they would do something like that, and then they would let you like cut out little like crosses, and then they would feed you a cookie that looked like Jesus, and then your parents would come get you at the end, and so you would be cut out of a lot of that boring stuff in the big boy church. But then at a certain point, you did have to sit there because you were too old for Sunday school, and I can remember getting so bored that I actually picked up a Bible and was just reading. I was just bored out of my mind because he was just talking. I just started reading random things. I was like, this is insane. Anyways, I don't remember anything. Whatever. I don't remember learning anything. Bobby says, Omni, is there a pivotal moment in your career, such as a song you made or a connection you established with someone that determined where you are today, what you're doing? And if so, would you change anything about it? Hold on, pause that, Bobby. Thadley says, I'm the same way with Lake TV show theme songs. I could probably sing 100 TV show theme songs and really remember what actually happened in the show. Yeah, right? Music does that to us. That's why jingles exist. Right? It's just something that grab people. People can connect with a song. Goodbye, Kaisa. Thank you so much for being in the stream. I miss you. Everybody, Kaisa used to come into the Instagram stream, so I haven't seen Kaisa regularly, at least, in a hot minute. So I appreciate you, Kaisa, for making the trip over here. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Now, back to Bobby's thing. Bobby, too many to count, right? I've been making music for too long, so there's a lot of those to count. But let me list a few, right? Before I get into the medley, because we're almost an hour in. A few pivotal moments in my career. One pivotal moment in my career was replying to an internet bulletin asking for a bass player. Now, as I've talked about in previous streams, nobody in the area that I grew up in Arizona, or the area rather that my family moved to in Arizona, played bass. It was like this really weird thing where there was like this stereotype where only black people played bass, and there was no black people in the area that my parents moved us to. So there was nobody playing bass. There was tons of guitarists/singers, and there was quite a few drummers, zero bass guitarists. So every single band, like every garage band, every indie band, every high school band needed a bass player so badly. And when I moved there, I didn't want to play bass, but much like my experience in MMORPGs, I don't really want to be a mage, especially not a white mage, but I pick a white mage class because I know people always need white mages. People always need somebody to heal them and take care of them. So I'm kind of always a medic. Not because I care about the medic class, but because I like being necessary to some degree. I like being able to help people. I like not being superfluous. So, you know, such as in games, so is life. And so I bought a bass guitar off of Aaron, the bass player from the church that I mentioned already, that red Yamaha bass, and I got a quarter because I didn't know where to buy guitar picks. I hadn't really gone to a guitar center before. And plus I was being intimidated, right? I didn't know anything about bass guitar. Remember, I started playing bass guitar as a necessity thing. Do I have any video of me playing bass? Maybe like one or two, but I have to hunt. Maybe my parents do. But I didn't know. I didn't want to walk into a guitar center and be like intimidated by all these like geniuses and these experts. So I bought I just used a quarter. And then I remember replying to these online things like, yo, I play bass, I play bass, I play bass, I can play in your band. And I went to go try out for these bands. All the bands loved me, but I think the bands liked me because one, no one was playing bass. Two, we were like teenagers, so they didn't know enough about what a good bass player sounded like to even go, nah, we won't use you. Again, I have to stress, there were no bass players, so the fact that they even had one applying was big for them, so I got into a lot of the bands that way. I would say that was a pretty big pivotal moment for me. Bobby is replying to that thing and getting the call back. They invited me to one of their practices to play bass with them, and I was excited. It was almost like I had won $1 million. I just remember being like, I'm actually going to be in a band. I'm going to be in a band. That's dope. That's amazing. Pause this really quick. Andrew Eckerman says, yo, was that thing in my... Oh. That was a thing in my hometown, too. I was the only non-black bass player in any band in high school. That's a super weird thing, and I have no idea how it happens. Yeah. Honestly, Andrew, me neither. It just is a thing. It's like... I think it's a stereotype. For sure, all black people play bass. Or if you are black, you can play bass. If you play bass, therefore you are black. I think it's a stereotype for sure. But I think a lot of people have followed that stereotype because of necessity. Nobody wants to play bass. And so, whatever. Anyways, how many bands were you in because of my bass playing ability? 3. Technically 4, but in the 4th one I didn't actually end up playing bass the whole time, but I got in under the guise of being able to play bass guitar. So I think that that was a big pivotal thing for me. Okay. Another pivotal moment would probably be me joining this band called The Crush. There is a band called The Crush, which was comprised of a DJ and a singer. The DJ would also rap, but it was like DJ would spin the song, and then the singers around the stage singing, and then the DJ would come out from behind the turntable and rap a few bars. That was the essential makeup. They got booked to go on a tour with a lot of scene bands, like Jeffree Star was on it, and Blood on the Dance Floor was on it. And they wanted to have a live, they wanted to like at least have one more person because their current live setup was kind of boring and uninteresting. And so they were like, if we could just have somebody there that was like playing synthesizer or something like that, or, you know. And they had seen me playing a few bands. Good morning, Lindsay. They had seen me playing a few bands, so they asked me if I would go on the tour with them. At the time, I was working. I can't remember where I was working, but I ended up leaving the job. I was like, yo, I think I quit. And my manager was like, why? I was like, I'm going on tour for 2 months. And they were like, I'll tell you what, just leave for 2 months. Just like take a leave of absence. And when you get back, we'll put you back in. Like, I don't want to hire somebody else. And I was like, oh, okay, chill. So I left, I went on this tour, and that tour was amazing. And on that tour, I met another band, which hired me to go on tour with them. And then I met another band from that band, Peach Cake, and I went on tour with them. And then I met Wink, and I went on tour with them. So I think that was big for me. And the reason that I got hired on that first tour with the Crush is because I had a keytar. A lot of my opportunity in music has a little bit to do with my skill, but a lot to do with me just being around and very accessible. I was playing guitar a lot at the time, and so people were like, oh, that's cool, that's weird, quirky, you can come on tour with us. And so they brought me on that. That opened up some doors for sure, Bobby. Yeah, I do have connections with Lord Voldemort. I hate that clown. But you know what's wild, Bobby? I was saying that I hated that clown for a really, really long time, and everybody said that I was crazy because, I don't know, camera phones weren't a thing, and people didn't like... Or camera phones were a thing, I just didn't have one. So there wasn't a lot of, like, proof. And even if there was, nobody cared about me. I had, like, a menial amount of followers, and they were, like, super big at the time, so... There's something, like, weird and not so much vindicating, but disappointing about, like, people, like, 8 years after you said somebody was trash, going like, Omni, they're trash. I can't believe, oh my god. It's like, man, I was telling you that for years. Anyways, yeah, I do have a connection with them because of that. That would have ruined your public appeal, so I'm happy you didn't get too close. Yeah. You know what's funny, Ava, about that? Dobby, the dude from the Blood on the Dance Floor, actually got arrested during that tour. So I don't want to derail this whole conversation to talk about sexual assault and particularly that person, but I will say, at that time that I was on the tour, I was so excited. I was young and I was excited to be on tour, and I remember seeing stuff happen, not just that, but seeing a lot of stuff happen, a lot of stuff that I can't talk about, a lot of stuff that I don't want to talk about, and a lot of stuff that I have already talked about. But I'm just seeing them while I'm out, and because I hadn't really been on tour before, a lot of me was just going, I guess this is just what it is. I don't like that so much, or I don't really like this so much. That was scary. That sucked. And me just going, nobody else around is complaining about it, so maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm like a prude. Maybe I'm a dweeb or something like that. So let me just like keep my mouth shut so I don't get taken off the tour. And so I would say that I was very horrified by a lot of tour stuff. A lot of tour stuff is really cool, by the way, but quite a bit of it was horrifying. And I was just kind of too afraid to say anything about it. And also, I want to keep in mind, a lot of people that like go wild with like canceling people now. We have Twitter. Twitter's doing its thing. Twitter, do your thing. It's doing its thing. It's doing the thing that it always does. It's social commentary, basically, for every single thing that happens on the planet. Back then, there wasn't that. Maybe you can make, like, a blog or something like that, but it didn't matter. Maybe you can post on your Tumblr that such and such happened, but, like, it wasn't going to pick up steam. Nobody really cared. And so, like, if you saw something wild happen, you would tell your friends, but... yeah, kind of end it there. You would just tell your friends, and your friends would go, oh, that sucks. I can't stand that person. And then you would, like, kind of move on or avoid that person. And and that was my experience on that tour. Wasn't a great time. Um, but yeah, Davi got arrested on that tour, and then Gavin Garrett? No, not definitely not Gavin. Garrett, I think, was his name. I really liked him. Him and his twin sister were on the tour. The other person in Blood and Dance were. He was cool, or as cool as you can be, right? And as cool as you can be, all things considered. Him and his twin sister was on the tour, and his twin sister. I liked his twin sister. She was funny. Um. Anyways, yeah. Then we went on the tour like for 4 dates on the tour without him, and then he got out of jail, and then made a lot of wild threats on us. Dobby pulled out a metal baseball bat on me in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'll never forget that day. He pulled out a baseball bat on me in Las Cruces. He was blaming me for his sound being bad. And I was like, oh man, that's wild. I would have killed him. Oh, I shouldn't say this. This is on YouTube. Allegedly. Allegedly that happened. Allegedly I would have killed him. Anyways, there was a fight, and I remember my band members telling me, hey, just drop it, leave it alone. We need this tour, we need this money. If you get in a fight and you like get in a fight and you hurt the person that's headlining the tour, you realize we're off the tour. Like we can't keep opening for somebody if you like punch them in the face. And I was like, word up. That makes sense. That's wild. Knowing what I know now, I probably should have just done it. I mean, that tour didn't get me that much money, especially considering how my life is now. Okay, yeah, I would say that was a pivotal moment also, Bobby, getting on that tour, even though it was with some pretty whack people. It allowed me to see a lot of things in places that I haven't seen since, and a lot of things in places that have still continued to help me in my career. So, I would say that that's pretty pivotal. What's another one? Okay, so Bobby asked me about pivotal moments in my career that have gotten me where I am today, and if I would change any of them. One of the big ones, and I won't dig too deep into this one either. A lot of these I can't dig too deep into because they're gritty, I guess. There's grits there. Joining Two-Tone Disco is a really big one because if I'm being honest and transparent about my career and where I am, if I didn't join Two-Tone Disco, there were a lot of things that I wouldn't have access to right now. For those of you that know my experience in Two-Tone Disco, you know. For those of you that don't, I'm really not going to get into a lot of it, but I wrote all the music for somebody else for 8 years? 7 years? And ethically it wasn't great, and ultimately I had to leave, right? Ultimately it was killing me, but I would say that most of the people that respect me in like an EDM world, do because they know what I did in that project. They know that I wrote all that music. And so I would say that Bobby Evans, if I could go back and change something, I'm really not the like super regretful type that's like, oh, I gotta go back and undo this. If I went back, I still would join Two-Tone Disco, absolutely. But I would probably have not let somebody else take credit for my work as long as they did. And I probably would have been more upfront and less kowtowed about financial compensation for writing a bunch of music for somebody. I think it wasn't until I met other people that were like, oh yeah, I write all the music for so-and-so, and this is how much I make per song, and I was like, wait, you guys are getting paid to write somebody else's music? I was like, what the heck? I'm doing it for free. I'm doing it for likes. Anyways, just something to think about. We all get, we all get kind of taken advantage of or swindled sometime throughout our careers, whether you're an artist or not. Even if you're, I don't know, if you're like a doctor, I'm imagining somebody's like screwing you over at some point. It's live and learn. I also do want to say, in my life, in all of our lives, in all of our lives, but particularly in my life, because that's what I'm talking about right now, I have been directed and steered by so many people who, one, are not in my life right now, and two, do not have the career that I have right now, as far as opportunities and respect and visibility, and three, were people that I maybe didn't appreciate for what they were doing. And I'm not saying, oh, somebody did this for me. It's just like the dude that gave me my first show. Where is he right now? He's got a good life. He has 2 kids, I think 2, and he like moved to Portland or somewhere where like there's a lot of white people, and he's like chilling. He's like having a good time. But I remember, where he stood in music when I was younger. He was the one that gave me my first copy of FL Studio. He gave me a pirated copy of FL3. And he really, that man had no idea what he did. But he did it. A lot of me and, what I do musically is because he gave me that early copy of FL Studio. I didn't even know what a DAW was. I would not have started music making for years and years and years if not for him, as far as production, because I just didn't even know that was a thing until he gave me that program. So there's a lot of people like that in my life. There's a lot of people that said, essentially like, hey, Omni, come over here, you see this? Isn't this cool? And then they went on about their life, but I kind of held on to that thing, and I was like, yeah, but wait, this is cool. Hold on, I think I'm going to make this my whole life for 5-6 years. Something weird to think about. What did other guy do / contribute? I'm gonna finish your question. Just DJ and mixing? He's still performing and stuff, and I know he still has releases from time to time, but I'm not sure who makes them if not him. You're asking a lot of dope questions, Cyber, that I cannot answer. Well, I could answer them, but I've been doing so good. I've been doing so good, Cyber, at just not trampling the flowers. I could answer though, but my whole thing is always, which is so stupid, but I feel like ever since I moved to LA, I had this whole thing of never fight. Because I was I fought once a week in Arizona. It's just there's always fights. Some of you guys know this. I was getting in fights all the time. When I moved here, I was like, you know what? Not just because I was moving to LA, but I was just it's time. Stop. Stop fighting. De-escalate everything. Don't look for smoke. Run from smoke. Try to get... What the heck? Sometimes these chords... I can't find it. Of course I can't find it. Of course I can't find it. There it is. What I was saying was trying to avoid smoke. I don't want to use the word drama, but just trying to avoid smoke. That's my thing now. I'm always taking the high road. Even if the low road's going to feel good and I'm going to get some really good punches in, it's just no, just high road everything. I don't have the energy anymore. And so when I left Two-Tone Disco, I had a very, very reasonable and mature conversation with the other half of Two-Tone Disco. It was not received very well, and they haven't said anything to me since. So I could there are things that I could say, there are things that I could do, but I'm choosing to just go, you know, whatever, and let them do their thing. I'm not trying to blow up their spot. Because ultimately, all I wanted was out. I just wanted to get out. I was like, this isn't good for me. I need to get out of here. And I did get out. Essentially, I did get what I wanted, and I'm trying to just let it end with that. I'm seeing a lot of stuff happen that's kind of whack. I'm hearing a lot of things that I'm like, that doesn't sound right. This and that don't go together. It's almost like if you like break up with your partner, and then you see your partner doing some really wild stuff, maybe with their next partner or whatever, and you're like, hey, I know what that means, or I know where this road leads, but you're just like, none of my business. All I wanted was out. I just wanted out, so I'm gonna chill and like enjoy my life and let them do their thing. But I'm trying to be like that cider. That's why I want to answer those questions. But all I will say is I did make all that music for a pretty long time. Kid James says I'm gonna head out. Bye, Kid James. I'm glad I was able to play Reflection Pool while you were in here. Usually what'll happen, Kid, is I won't see you come in. I'll just see somebody say, oh, hi, Kid, and then my brain will just automatically kind of gravitate to those chords. So that's why I didn't say hi to you until I was like halfway through the song. But thank you so much for being in the stream, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's as well. Vitamate, or Vitamate, I'm going to say Vitamate until I'm corrected, says, I feel that mofos always be trying to start something. Eventually I realize that it's just better to disregard those toxic people. Yeah. I think that nobody said it better than One Tree Hill. It's only funny to me. It's only funny to me. I'm going to try to like make a challenge for myself to stop making jokes that are only funny to me. I hear them in my head and I go, oh, this is specifically great for me. And it's not funny to anybody else, and I do apologize for that. One Tree Hill was some old show on like the CW. In a later episode of One Tree Hill, there's two guys. I'm not going to go into all the backstory, but one of them is very aggressive and always fights. He always wants to throw a punch. Some guy makes fun of him or says something wild to him in a store. He gets in a fight with him. Very clearly can take this guy out, but he falls backwards through some glass. The glass punctures some part of his spine, and now he can't walk. And he like loses his basketball scholarship or whatever, which was like his whole purpose. He was just an athlete. He was kind of like a meathead. Point is, after seeing that episode, I had a very, very, very no one's seen this episode. No one knows what I'm talking about. But I hope that I've described the scenario well enough to explain to you that when I saw that episode of that show, I realized it doesn't take much. All it takes is you being an idiot for like 2 seconds, or like not letting something go, and it can ruin everything. It could ruin everything. And so a lot of times when I see something wild happening, I go, look at this clown. I could crush this fool. Like, I know what my strength is. I know I got, oh my god, I got jukes. Cyber, I got jukes. I wish I had the opportunity. I can fight. And sometimes I'll see people, they'll say something wild to me, and I was like, I can fold this dude. I can fold him, and it'll be so funny. Everybody will leave me alone for 2 seconds. But, you know, what if I fold homie, and he's got, like, a cousin with a gun, and then, like, now I'm dead? What if I fold homie, and homie calls the cops, and now I'm dead? What if I fold homie? You know, like, I just have to chill. I just have to chill. And that's not even just for physical stuff. Sometimes when I see, like, really wild stuff happening, you know, I know that being complacent isn't great, but some things you just let go. Who knew One Tree Hill could provide such important lessons? Certainly not me. It was the only thing I learned from that show. Shows from that era definitely loved their tragedy, so I definitely get the gist. For sure. But yeah, One Tree Hill said it best. Yo, even if, God, it's just not worth it. Some things just aren't worth it. That's good. Some things aren't worth it. And I think me going like I've talked about freaking like Jana in a stream, like me like going after Jana, or me going after on the other half of Tito and Disco, or me going after all these people. It's like I'm in the right. I have justice on my side. I'm like the righteous side. But in the end, it's like, yeah, who cares? Like, why bother? I got what I wanted. I wanted out. Maybe that's enough. Sometimes you need to get out, and you also need to punish the person. But sometimes, for me anyway, sometimes I just want to get out, right? Like I don't know. Restraint is the proper response, says Cyber. But I don't blame you for wanting to vent. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I just want to get out. Have any of you guys watched Lifetime? I know you have. I know. I feel like if I asked that, people on the stream wouldn't say anything. But just even if you're silent, I know you've watched it. So um, I was watching a Lifetime movie, and there was this woman that was like in a really bad relationship, like most Lifetime movies, and in the end, like she's talking to the police or whatever, and they're like, "We can get him." It's wow. I hate police and TV. They're so useful. Anyways, the policeman on the TV is like, "We've got all the evidence here. We can get him. We can lock this man up for like 5 lifetimes. We can put him under the prison, underneath the prison." And then she was like, I just want to be away from him. She was like, I know that he did a lot of stuff and like he can go to prison for it. Like I don't even care. I don't want to think about him. I don't want to do any paperwork. I just want to leave. Like let me out of here. Um, yeah, I feel that. Anyways, that's how I felt about Two Tone Disco. Venomate says I've been forced to watch so much Lifetime because my mom loves her some Lifetime. Though they had a Golden Girls, so that was dope. I mean, that's why I was watching it, Venomate. It wasn't on my own accord. It was because my mom was in control of the TV when my dad wasn't around. That's how the hierarchy went. My dad's king of TV. If my dad's at work, my mom's queen of TV. If they're both gone, Candace was in charge of the TV, and maybe Amanda too. Candace and Amanda were both gone or otherwise busy. Then that's when I got to play, baby. That's when it was Kingdom Hearts time. It took me a very long time to beat that game because of how little TV time I got. Cyber says I can envision Lindsay's ears perking up when I started Vanilla. Lindsay has like elf ears. That'd be dope. The only thing I liked about Lifetime was that the whole trafficking movie they had. I didn't see that. I held my own TV in my own room, says Ava. I did eventually, but I had to buy it, and, that took a long time to save up for. I mean, you make me sound like a cat. Sorry, you make me sound like a cat. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Thank heavens, or I'd have never been able to watch. All I've been able to watch is football and golf. The two best sports, all American pastime. Wait, I think baseball is the all American pastime. I was wrong. I was wrong in 2 different ways. Okay, I'm gonna start the medley now. I've already done. I've done vanilla. In my interpersonal relationships class, we just watched Lifetime movies the whole time. I mean, that makes sense. feel like Jumpin' Jaybird. I'm partial to it in guitar sound now for some reason. I don't know when or how that happened. Sick. I do like the. I like this chord. So pretty. Okay. I don't think anyone else has asked this. My bad if they did. So, what are your two things right now? Personal music and work music. Yes. If I'm being honest, I actually don't have a second thing right now. I think maybe that's why I'm so miserable. I don't have a second thing because it's like it can't be both. It can't. Music is just one thing. I don't have a second thing. I don't have music in work. I don't have music in. Yeah, I don't have a second thing. It's kind of just music. Every now and then I'll fill that second thing with like video games, and I'll be like hard gaming for a second, or I'll be like reading a book. It's a good question. Kalon, how's it going, y'all? I dig the shirt on me. Thanks, Kalon Hamilton. Thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate you. Welcome to the morning medley. We are in the second half of it, maybe in the ending of the second half of it. We're getting close. We're getting close. I have to finish the medley though. I have done most of the songs. Video game ever. I'll ask him if I can play. I don't have a friend who buys every video game ever. Oh, hi, Sharp. Welcome back. Welcome back to the fold. This next song is called Nothing. It doesn't have a name. God, I should turn that into something though. Something else singing along with it made the melody sound cooler. Yo, I'm good at stuff sometimes. I'm gonna turn that into something. I just sit on things. That's my problem. That's my problem. That's the problem. birds are they? Oh, two baby chicks. Chico and Mocha. plays at some point. Which is probably my favorite stream song since he's there. It feels so dramatic. Yeah, it does. Doesn't really fit in with the rest of my music, does it? Which song and Jaybird have the collective power to lift my spirits like nothing? Interesting. Those two, huh? Opposite sides of the spectrum, right? One being jazzy and the other one being witchy, I guess. I don't know. Today is the anniversary of the first day I saw a stream. 2 years. Time flies. Wowee. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love Isadora. Isadora, in the movie City of God that you recommended to me, there is a character. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's a character. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, and I can't say what he does in the story because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's gonna see City of God. But I will say he is incredibly light-skinned. He is a very light-skinned black man. And he reminds me so much of a dude that really used to look out for me when I was a kid. I feel like every neighborhood, especially a gang-infested one, every neighborhood, especially a gang-infested one, kind of has that one dude. No, not him. I watched it in English, Isadora. Wait. No, I watched it in Portuguese with English subtitles, though. Sorry. Can you watch it in English? I'm glad I didn't. Anyways, no, it wasn't him. Light skin. His best friend. Anyways, point is, there's always that dude that doesn't really want to be a part of the bad. But he's there, and he's like, this is my life, this is the way it has to be. But he's really more so about just having fun, eating good food, and loving people, loving music. And I feel like I had a dude like that, and I ended up becoming the dude. I ended up becoming him. The one that's just kind of like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I know. All my brothers are Bloods. Yeah, I know what area of the town we're in. I know I can't go over there. I know I'm not supposed to talk to him, but he's got cool shoes, so I'm gonna talk to him. And you talk to him, and the dude's like, you trying to trick me? And you're like, nah, man, I'm just trying to talk, man. We're cool. What's that? You got a Game Boy Color? And then you kind of make friends with people, but it ends up catching up with you. Anyways, very good movie. Very good movie. Benny. Benny? Hold on. Isadora. Hold on. Yeah, Benny. Yeah, it was Benny. My neighborhood had a Benny, and then I became the Benny. Isn't that funny? Oh my god, the parallels. Isadora, the parallels of that movie and my life are both amazing and also very upsetting. There are a lot of things that happened in that movie that happened in my childhood. And, can't spoil it. In case anybody on the stream wants to watch that movie. But, wow. Yes. That movie is, there's a lot of parallels. It's so interesting how, like, being black is a lie. Have you ever thought about being black is a lie? I have this joke with one of my friends because she showed me a very old photo. The movie's called City of God, but she showed me a very old photo. She's Filipino, and she showed me a very old photo of like indigenous Filipino people, or like just Filipino people before they got like colonized all the heck. And I was like, oh, those are just black people. What? And I think it helped. It helped drive the point home. Like, I mean, growing up, I thought black people were like, oh, okay, there's like black people in Africa, there's black people in the United States. We had like the diaspora, but there was like African Americans and there was Africans, and then there was a bunch of other people. But then I remember looking at Fresh Prince as a kid. Loved Fresh Prince, by the way, great show. But Will Smith's cousin in the show was named Carlton. And I remember seeing Carlton's name show up on the credits every time I watch that show. Alfonso Ribeiro, and I was like, Alfonso Ribeiro, Alfonso Ribeiro. That's such an interesting black name. What kind of joke is this? I thought to myself, and then somebody said, "Oh, he's Dominican," and I was like, "Is that in Africa? Is that is that a, is that one of the republics of Africa?" And then it didn't stop there. There was like Dominican people. I was seeing like even Peruvian people and stuff like that. I was seeing so many people. I was seeing Brazilian people. I was seeing a lot of people and going like, "Oh, it's a black dude," and they're like, it's actually Latino." And I was like, "Oh, I think black is like not what I thought it was. I think it's a lot bigger. I think pretty much anywhere along the equator, there's just black people there." And I thought that it was, I mean, I was young. To be fair, like when I was watching Fresh Prince, I think I was like, I mean, there was only one digit in my age. I think I was like in my one digits or whatever. But I thought there's generally, I mean, coming from Arizona, a lot of this is going to be, people always ask me if I'm Dominican as well. There's going to be a lot of ignorance in this because, again, these are the words of a grown man as told through the ignorance of a broken kid. So, when I was looking at that, when I was growing up in my life, I thought that there were three races. I thought there was black, there was Mexican, and there was white people. I didn't know, I mean, French, Polish, Irish, British, Swedish, Norwegian, Dutch, whatever, white people. And then, I guess, African American, Jamaican, somebody from Trinidad, Ethiopian, Dominican, they're just black. And then, like, Puerto Rican, goodness gracious, I mean, I guess Cuban, Mexican, there was like, oh, all Latino or Mexican, because I was a kid. And in Arizona, those are really the only three main races that are being represented. You have a bunch of black people that are from different places, but they all kind of get covered under the umbrella of black. There's a bunch of white people that are from different places, but they all get covered under the umbrella of white. And there are kind of just a lot of Mexican people because Arizona borders Mexico. I didn't meet any Puerto Rican people, I wasn't on the East Coast. No Cuban people. Get older and you realize that that's not true, and then you always also realize, like, oh, Asian people, that's a lot. There's a lot, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of countries inside of Asia. So it's just like you grow and you learn. But I remember seeing Alfonso Rivera, and that was like the big thing for me, like seeing the name Alfonso, and I was like, that man is black, but that is a very Latin sounding name. Alfonso must be a joke. Turns out he was from the Dominican Republic. A lot of the people on the show of Fresh Prince, a lot of the people that are supposed to be like related that play the family, they're not the same race. Go look at Fresh Prince. Look at like Will Smith. Look at Uncle Phil. Look at Alfonso Rivera. Look at Hillary. Look at Aunt Viv. Both Aunt Vivs. They're not all the same race. They're like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different races, but they play a family of black people, and I just think it's really funny in hindsight. Anyways, Bobby says that there's black people all over, but they don't really teach us about it. African slaves were colonized in pretty much every race. This is true. This is true. Yeah, they don't teach us about that. You're not going to learn that in your history books. But yeah, Alfonso. Carlton is what did it for me. Carlton is what made me realize, like, oh, South America and Central America, there's a lot of black people down there, or a lot of people that I would look at and, like, clap up and be like, oh, just another black dude. But, only speaks Portuguese or only speaks Spanish. Interesting. I miss old Aunt Viv. Yeah, old Aunt Viv was where the talent was at, but, we all know why that happened. Okay, this song is called 78 to Downtown. I'm gonna play it in a different sound, though. I'm gonna play it in... Not this one. I love bassoons. Easy Door, can we talk about bassoons? like bassoons. It wasn't until I got a key. No, not until I got a keyboard. Until I started messing with like actual sound fonts. In my brain, I would always think of woodwinds. Oh, Maddie, why? Anyhow, I'll find it, Maddie. I'll do it. I'm not gonna play the whole song though. You have to care about me. First and foremost, you have to care about me, my heart, and my heart suffers when I play songs with the dog sound. Oh, there's strings underneath it. What was I saying? Oh, the reason, like, I didn't realize, I thought of woodwinds as a section, right? Woodwinds, oh, that's the woodwinds. Strings, I thought of strings as like, oh, I go click the string sound and I play a chord. And it wasn't until I started arranging for like woodwinds and strings where I was like, these instruments not only have different, I thought the thing that separated them was their range, their tonal range, right? Like, violin's going to be a lot higher than a cello. But there actually is something different about the timbre of the instrument, the way the sound is. If you take a violin, you play a really low note, and you play like a really high note on a cello, that's the same note, it's not going to sound the same. And so now, instead of going to my computer and going to the woodwinds sound font on the keyboard and playing chords, now I will play chords on a piano and MIDI, and then I'll pull up a flute and I'll take the highest note and I'll put it on the flute, and then I'll take like a middle note and I'll put it on the clarinet, and I'll take a bottom note and I'll put it on a bassoon, and then I'll put an oboe, and it does have a more rich sound. I put one in my Instagram story a while ago, but anyhow. Ugh. That doesn't even sound like dogs. That's 78 to downtown. Wow. This isn't mine. Thank you, Dar. Thank you, Dar. It's horrible. Oh, that breeze does feel good. I don't know why it's so hot in my room today. What a treat. I actually like Maddie. That was very upsetting for me, Maddie. But seeing Maddie happy somehow makes it fun. That's awful, Maddie, by the way. Oh my god, you know what's really funny? There's like a little picture, right, of each sound. There's a little picture of each sound in this keyboard. Like, if you're playing the piano, like a little, like, really weird grainy digital image of a piano comes up. And when you play the dog sounds, this is what the image is. Look at him. I guess he's supposed to be laying down, like looking up at an owner or something like that. It's sound number 505. There's too many sounds on this keyboard. I'll never remember that. I hope I forget it immediately. But oh my god, that angle. That's what it looks like. Do do da 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 ba ba da ba ba ba. Da 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 da. Where is its neck? Retracted. Retracted, probably. Oh, he looks squished down. I'm getting more views out of the descriptions of it than I am out of the actual photo. Oh my goodness. Oh crap! Oh, I didn't see the money. Thanks, Dar. I didn't. I see it now. Wait. Whoa. I have a mouse now. Oh, Maddie. Oh, it's Maddie. It's $15 of Maddie. Thanks, Maddie. You didn't have to do that. You laughing was enough. That was fun. That was fun. I get it. I know how love works. Have you ever seen a parent? Have you ever seen a parent going through something that they clearly don't enjoy, but they're like looking at their kid and you can tell that they're happy, and it's like, oh, is that what it's like to like care about people? No, I was. I mean, if Maddie's having a good time, I appreciate that. Red is late again. Red is making a habit out of this. Red, I appreciate you for being consistent, but we do appreciate punctuality. I'm joking, Red. Thank you for coming into the stream at all. You did come at the very end. We're getting ready to close up, but I appreciate you for being able to make it out at all while I was still alive. The dog does have a lowercase neck. Is this love? Says Peace Bean. Oh man. At least you can be comforted in the fact that you can play anything. You cannot play anything worse on this keyboard. Well, I'm sure there's things that are worse. I was playing Minecraft, says Red. You weren't even sleeping. You were just busy indulging in the craft of mining. Welcome, Neobo. What does love mean? Sound 505 on this keyboard. I know what love means, by the way. Is there a cat sound? Probably right next to the dog sound, Cyber. I mean, I can only assume. Oh, crap. That says horse sound, by the way, that. I was hoping it was going to be like a horse whinnying or something. It's just the running. That's not the sound a horse makes. Anyways, there's the dog. This is an oil can. It's the sound of oil, I guess. Oil being like poured into a car. Yo, I hate these people. I'm sorry. I love Yamaha. They're my parents. I don't see a cat sound. Cyber. I don't see a cat sound, but I know one's in here. I know one's in here. I just don't see it, and I'm not gonna go through what 600 sounds, unless I am. Not in the stream. Not in the stream, guys. I have respect for the nice people in this stream. There's birds, I guess. Interesting, Cyber. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think there's a cat sound in here. I don't think there's a cat sound in here. I think there's just a dog. There's a clear preference of Yamaha for dogs, birds, and oil cans. But no cat. That's fascinating. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the stream. I just gotta get through this. Stupid. Just stupid for no reason. Okay, anyways, the oil can was terrible, says Dar. I agree with you there, Dar. There is a firework. I kept skipping over it, Neobo. Oh my goodness. Okay, yes, the oil can was bad. No cats is disappointing. I'm not a big cat fan, so seems I'm in good company with the Yamaha. My body isn't a big cat fan. We've talked about this. How I develop a subtle, very barbaric level of disdain for anything that causes my body pain. Cats being one of them, since I'm allergic to them. Boy. Okay, so I feel I'm gonna be real with you guys. Sometimes when I'm playing in a stream, I feel like I don't have a lot of music. Sometimes I'm like, do I only have 3 songs? Because I'll go through the medley and it's like, yeah, we know all the Signal songs. But if I get rid of the Signal songs, I have French Lavender. I have the unnamed song. I have Over and Under. I have the new one, Lemonality. And then I have, Into Thin Air and Key Lime and Catching Up. And I have Around the Pond. But I feel like I don't have very many songs. Like, and then this one. Then I have the Witchy song. But I feel feel like it's just kind of like a handful. Like I need another one. Hopefully, Liminality helps. I do have Not on My Watch. I do have that one. Hello, Jamie Flores. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Used to play a bunch of others, right, Liana? I used to play a bunch of others. What happened to me? I've been shrunk. I used to play this one. I've since kind of gotten rid of that one in my regular playing, unless I get like really stuck in a rut. I have Clover Salad, which I also rarely play. You had a song about airplanes or the sky or something. I like dark. I have a song called Into Thin Air. And I also have Flight Plan. Those are like probably my two plane songs. And I still play those pretty often. Maybe it's just a comfort thing. Like you've gotten into the swing of playing those songs and not others. Maybe that's what it is. I will say, Rose Milk, Hamilton. I was about to say I could never forget this song, but I forgot the song. But yeah, I don't play that very often. I almost never play Gucci in the stream, Dar, because that's the thing that like usually gets requested by one-timers, I call them. Usually somebody will like wander into the stream because they're on my YouTube page and they'll go like, hey, 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 can you play the big Gucci? Can you do the Gucci for me? How come you don't play the Gucci gang one? And I'll do that. It is every bit the modern day Bad Bougie. Some of you will remember when people come in and go, hey, play the Raindrop Drop Top song. Now I have to do those three chords. Do what else for those a lot. But yeah, I usually don't play them in the stream just because I feel like I'll never forget them and they will probably be requested before long. However, yeah, I don't... Over and Under is still my favorite, says Neobo. Oh, Neobo playing favorites, huh? Play that in the stream. I guess I don't play songs in the stream typically that don't have true piano versions of the song. Like Not on My Watch and like 1/million. Or even Bon Bon. A lot of these songs are songs that I know how to play the chords of, but without all of their fixins and their vocals and their melodies and all that stuff, they kind of fall flat. Same can be said about the Bad Bougie remix or the Gucci Gang remix. Without the vocals, sometimes they feel kind of empty, and I would feel weird if I was just playing the same three chords over and over for 4 minutes in the stream. But at least I haven't forgotten how to play those. Venomade, says Dar. Venomade I never play. For some reason. so repetitive that I can only do this maybe 8 to 12 times before it like gets old. Isidore says Peppermint Panda, which is a very deep callback to a song that I made on Instagram 2-ish years ago, maybe even 3. Last Dream is still top 3 for me, says Dar. The song? Or the mixtape? Because I definitely cannot play the song Let's Dream. I cannot play it. Peas Bean says, I also really like Left Behind, but I don't know if there's a piano version. Peas Bean. Peas Bean. Hold on 1 second, Peas Bean. Give me but a moment. Butter moment. Please. Because I have had a momentary lapse in my memory, and I don't remember what Left Behind sounded like. Oh. It goes down, the bass line. There be lurkers, says Liana. Oh, where are they? Is there anything you could play from Speed Dream? No. Technically, I can play Midnight Drift 3. Dun, dun, I think. No. Oh. There it is. Yeah. Oh, I love that song. I love that song. Whoa, how do I remember how to play that? I never play that song on the stream. I mean, it's only 4 chords, but still. If you don't know the song that I'm playing, please go listen to Midnight Drift 3. Or Midnight Drift 1, or Midnight Drift 2. They're all good, but that one is particularly good because that was the first time that I worked with Abby Press, who some of you will recognize from Quick Breath. I had her back on Quick Breath. Made another song with her. Which is like... Oh, how do I know how to play these? Guys, it's a good day. It's a good day. Usually my brain is failing. I don't know how I'm pulling all these songs out of my keister, but this is sick, actually. This is sick. Throw another one at me. Don't, actually. Don't, because I feel like I won't be able to play that one. You play Kiwi and Signal stuff. Every now and then I'll play Kiwi. Usually if Kiwi's active in the chat. Just like that. I actually don't know, Isidore. I would love to be able to give you like a really dope answer. Like, it's oats. I eat mad oats, and I practice all the time, but I don't. Some of these songs I haven't played in at least a year, especially that one. Ugh, I just love that song. I love that song. Okay. Groom's Cake. Yes, Groom's Cake also. Dar. Have you ever adapted Ego Death to the keyboard? The song Ego Death? No. Ugh, I love that song, by the way. I played that song in one take. That was one of my one take Jake tracks. I was just riffing. Ego Death is technically an improv, which is why it kind of has this amorphous feel. The guy kind of starts one way, it goes to a different place, and then it just ends before it could even come back around and loop. But I haven't heard it in a while. But I think I am going to make a piano version of that because it is a very simple song. Who was talking about Left Behind earlier? Whoever it was, thank you for that. Uber Cerritos is so good. Holy crap. People are just bringing... this is weird. This is very cutty stream. No one ever brings up Uber Cerritos. I played it in a live stream. Not a live stream, but in a set that I had recorded recently. I do love that song. I'm particularly fond of my verses in that song because they don't come until the very end. Ooh, it's a fun song. What is your jazziest song? Maybe everything. It's maybe a three-way tie between. It's really everything on Signals, but maybe it's a three-way tie between Winter, Heart, Love Letters. It's hard, right? Because I don't know what you mean by jazzy Neobo, but if we're talking like bebop type jazz, yeah, like basically. I feel like just inherently that sounds bebop jazzy. And that's Winter Heart. Same thing with Love Letters. I push with that. I don't know if you've heard Signals, Neobo, but if you're looking for my jazziest song, it's probably a tie between all of those. If you listen to them, they're all like equally as jazzy. I don't need anything from the store, Jamie, but Cyber says I would love to hear Chocolat, but Omni has already said that was a one-take track as well. Yeah, I would have to relearn it by ear. Uber Cerritos is honestly one of my favorites, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. The song is very fun for me. Was Chocolat a Fashion Runway song? Yes. It is the Fashion Runway song. I want to listen to Ego Death and Quick Breath now. Oh, thanks, Maddie. I appreciate that. Chocolat was a counter to Vanilla. It was a counter to Vanilla. It was on Quick Breath. Yes. Every song on Quick Breath has a counter on Ego Death. Good morning, Adriana. But I am going to make a piano version of Left Behind. Maybe not in this specific stream. I wonder what I was playing for Ego Death. Because it is an ensemble piece, but it's a very small ensemble. That's hard. Ugh. Yeah, I was just riffing. I'm so obviously just riffing. Oh my god. I don't go that high. It should be down there. Oh, Christ. Ego Death says, Jamie. It's just a big riff. The whole song is a riff, guys. Very cover girl, very brown cow, says Star. You made a ballroom song, Omni. Congrats. Did I? Maybe not ballroom, says Star. Backpedaling a little bit. Maybe Chocolat would be ballroom if you got someone who does bounce music to scree. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely not a ballroom song. It's definitely not a ballroom song. But I can talk more about that song and why it sounds that way in a future stream. There's not enough time to unpack that right now because it has a little bit to do with the other person that made that song with me. I did not make Chocolat alone. Only Tom is the other producer on that song. Wait, what am I? What was I doing? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the first chord. Do, do, do. Oh, there it is. Oh, I found it. Whoa, Liana coming in with the old references. Liana, no one gets that joke but me. This song sucks. There's no word for it. And then this chord's weird. Sorry, guys. This is so weird. Having to relearn your own music is really weird. Okay, why did I not listen to singles earlier, says Neobo. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Neobo, but I understand. But I do play a lot of signal songs on the stream, so maybe you're just like, I've already heard all these songs. Screw them. That's what I imagine your inner voice sounds like. Screw them, I've already heard all these songs. Hello, Ren. Welcome, and good morning. I think I mentioned Potsu once, and you said it was some kid who he saw saying he liked... Okay, hold on. I think I mentioned Potsu once, and he said it was some kid who he saw saying he liked his music. I don't really listen to much of him, but we have a lot of friends in common in a weird way. I don't know what the fourth chord. There it is. And then that chord. No, dude. That's gonna be a really hard chord to find because it was a weird one. Dar says Lindsay is now for him to listen to, or for him to transpose Ego Death. Mine is for Omni to watch. The thing you keep recommending me. I feel you, Dar. Dar says, or Steven Universe soundtrack. Honestly, don't you know Ivy and Surround? I'm sorry for giving you that voice, Dar. That was not meant to be insulting. I feel like if I read your questions in my own voice, something that I realized, especially on watching the other streams back, is when people can't see the comments and I read somebody's comments. Sometimes it sounds like I'm saying it. Sometimes, so I have to say Dar says, or I have to put a voice on you. And I'm sorry to anybody in the stream who the voices have ever been insulting. I really do genuinely mean that. Is there a song you wish to play more often? Says Peas Bean. And I always like playing the new stuff, you know, right? So right now I love playing freaking Liminality. There's a flyer up here. You can't really read it. No, I'll get up and I'll walk over to it because my room's not that big. I played a show with Ivy and Sarasi. Whoever brought up the Steven Universe soundtrack, I have heard it. I'm friends with those people. We like each other. I played Ivy's cousin's wedding, and what an experience. Anyways, wait, why did I play that? Because Ivy's cousin is a big fan of mine. That was really weird, actually, now that I think about it. Sometimes weird stuff happens in your life, and you just kind of go, yeah, that's normal. That was not normal. Anyways, it's okay, I accidentally mocked your voice too. Word, it's chill. It's chill. I mean, my voice is easily to mock too. And English says, I will always be insulted when you give me a voice, unless it's overly English sounding. You are English. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, I gotta get to the bottom of this. I love Ivy. She's so cool, says Cyber. Can you give me a German accent, says Neobo. I don't really do accents. Oh, that's a lie. I don't do German accents. I want another Black Box album, says Cyber. Yes, give us the Black Box. Jazz Cat Galaxy, who I did not know was in the stream until just now, says, I love that show. Pearl is my fave. Talking about Steven Universe, Peas Bean says, I hate Pearl because I feel I'm really much like her. Yes, we all hate a little bit of ourselves, don't we? I feel you, Maddie. I'm so hungry. He says, oh, Cyber, I realize I never answered your treat yourself question. I'm going to treat myself today by going to a local bookstore and getting some kind of fancy schmancy drink after. Well, how about it? I drank way too much Calpis yesterday, so Calpico. I gotta get used to saying Calpico because I realize how close it sounds to Calpis. I know. I know when I say it. I know what it sounds like. I'm not drinking cow urine, guys. It's a Japanese drink. Okay. Neobo says, I treat myself by meditating. That is a form of treating yourself. Hello, am I late? Says Symphonic Charms. Only by 2.5 hours. Only by 2.5 hours, Symphonic Charms. So technically, the stream's not over. I mean, I still got 3 minutes left, so you still made it. But yes, you are 2.5 hours late. Happens at the same time every morning. Every morning, same time. Jazzcat Galaxy says, how long has it been since you had a pretzel burger? Don't laugh at that, Jazzcat. Don't add a laugh emoji to that. It's not funny. It's very sad. It's been a very long time since I had a pretzel burger. I mean, Sprouts and Whole Foods do sell pretzel buns. And as you guys have known from my Instagram story, I know how to fry chicken breast. So I usually just make my own pretzel bread chicken. Oh my god, that sounds delicious right now. I'm gonna go to the store actually. After I end this, I need to go get some more chicken so I can marinate. But holy crap, I'm hungry now. Dang it, Jessica. I don't think I've ever had a pretzel burger since Peas Bean. Pretzel burgers are delicious, but I can't remember where I had one last. I mean, Wendy's is the first time I had one, but then somebody else had it after Wendy's. Either that or I simply started making my own. No, Burger King had one for a little while. They had a pretzel whopper. Anyways, done talking about food. We're all done talking about food. Ranked best and worst fast food restaurants. Apparently we're not done talking about food. Enigma says best and worst fast food restaurants. Rank them so I know where to eat when I come over. To the U.S., that is. Not your house. You can come to my house, Enigma. You can come to my house. Okay. okay. You guys know that I'm really bad at the whole, like, best, worst thing. So I'm just going to list from my own personal thing, Enigma. Enigma, I don't know you very well. I know you're English. I guess that's it. I know you make music. We've had conversations about drum and bass. That's my extent of how well I know you. So I don't know what you like to eat. Coming from England, I know it's a big joke that you guys have the worst food. And I wanna go on a limb and say I'm not going to take that road. I'm not going to take the lowest hanging fruit. I'm not going to take the low road. I'm going to assume the best of your palate and the type of food that you like. And I'm going to make some recommendations based off of that. I'll make you one, Maddie. I'll mail it to you. It'll be disgusting by the time it gets to you, but it'll get there. I've tried a pretzel burger. I need to try one. Definitely try one, Isidore, even if you have to make it on your own. Oh wait, I've had one at Culver's, but I didn't like the cheese on them. Culver's is pretty dope, but I haven't had it in a very long time. Says me. They sell butter burgers. Moving on, Liana says McDonald's is the best burger and the worst. I can agree. I can get on board with this for reasons. Go to Popeyes if you like chicken, says Cyber. Recommending Popeyes to Enigma. English food is amazing. Pubs are great, says Enigma. Patriotic about food in it. I love in it. Out of all the things the English is... The English? Yeah, the English. Out of all the things the English have given us, in it's like really up there. In it, I say rubbish a lot. I don't remember when or how that got. I also say summit a lot. I don't know when or how these things got into my vocabulary, but I do use them a lot. Okay, England's food can be really good, but it doesn't compare to anything from Asia, says Neobo, which is very apt and fair as analysis. Not an assumption, I suppose. Chick-fil-A is the best, says Daniel S. I love the rhyme. Enigma. So yeah, Daniel says Chick-fil-A. I think I went to a bad places in England, Enigma. I think I went to a bad place too. It's called England. I'm making a joke, of course. England was amazing. I had a beautiful place called Nando's, which I don't know if I can call that English food, but I'm going to move on. Haircut appointment coming up, so I'm going to dip out in the stream. Bobby Evans is leaving. Thank you, Bobby Evans, for being in the stream. I appreciate you so much for being here and being as consistent as you are. Oh my god, Pang too. I forgot about Pang. Oh. Ugh. Enigma. These words are going straight to my heart. Yo, using There are certain things, you know how like the stereotype of like a high school girl. I'm not gonna describe what she looks like because it'll get insulting. It'll sound like I'm insulting when all I'm doing is describing. But high school girl, like getting all goo goo gaga over like Benedict Cumberbatch having an English accent, just anyone having an English accent, or an Australian accent, or an Italian accent. People get all goo goo gaga over it. I think I don't necessarily have that with accents all the time. I think I just have it with like random slang that doesn't sound like anything. Like doesn't sound like anything. Peng is awesome to me. I only knew that because of that freaking the dude on YouTube that would go around reviewing chicken places. Didn't know what that word was until him. Anyways, goodbye, Bobby Evans. Thank you for being in the stream. I'm going to say Enigma. I'm gonna just go to the bottom of the chat. Oh, chavs. Yeah. I used to have like a really weird um obsession with chavs Enigma, both in how they dressed and how they talked. Not because it was like, I think because it was foreign, xenophilia or whatever that is. Maybe that was it. Something that was like different and strange. I really liked. And chavs in general, because of the show In-Betweeners, painted chavs were painted in a light that I liked. Whether or not that was accurate, I will say everything I know from chavs came from TV and movies. So that's probably why I have an affinity for them and the slang used by them. Now, as far as food that I'm going to recommend to you, Enigma, in a really short and quick list, I like a wide variety of cultural foods. So, as far as specific restaurants, I can't really recommend any because the U.S. is a huge place, right, Enigma? And as a lot of the people know on this stream, if I'm going to recommend any food that happens to exist in all fifth tier, let's just say the greater 30 states, it's going to be a chain and it's not going to be super great. So, what I'll say is I don't know what the cultural reputation is truly food wise where you are in the UK, but Mexican food is dope. And now, if you go to New York, you're probably not going to find a lot of good Mexican food. You can find some good Mexican food in New York, but it's going to be hard to find. It's probably going to be kind of expensive. If you come to the West Coast or even like parts of the Southwest, try to get Mexican food. Um, there's a lot of it. And when I say Mexican food, maybe not Chipotle and stuff like that. You guys have that over there. I'm talking like, just do like a quick Google search of like dope local taco place. I know tacos, it's like really reductive and it's a very simple food thing, but it can be really good here. A lot of the things, though, Enigma, if I'm being completely honest, like, I had some pretty dope pizza when I was in England. I know everybody in New York likes to think that they're, like, the freaking king of pizza, but there's a lot of good pizza other places, so I'm not going to recommend specific pizza places. I'll just say, like, if you're going to go to the U.S., especially if you're going to be on the west side, try to keep it, like, Hispanic and Asian. If you're gonna go out and eat, try to eat a lot of Asian food and eat a lot of Mexican food if you can. Maybe some Salvadorian food. Go to like a pupuseria. I love pupusas, but recommending specific locations is going to be hard since I don't know exactly where you're going to be. Um, yeah, most food trucks are really good too, as Peas Bean says. Yes. I can't spend much time here because I did right before this say that I'm half Salvadorian, says Jamie. Ooh. Sorry, sidetrack. Peace Bean says, at least in my experience, just don't get chicken taco with pickled lettuce. Don't do it. I mean, or do it. That actually kind of sounds good, but I mean, it might have not been when you had it. Peas Bean. I've only recently gotten into pickled things. I blame the Koreans for that because I started eating a lot of Korean food about 5 years ago, and dang, they be pickling everything, and I hated it, and now I don't hate it anymore. Okay, so I'm hungry and I just ate, says CC Store. Yeah, go get some food. Yeah, we're done with food talk. Everybody, I have a song out called The View. It's named after the TV show. I have 2 EPs out. One's called Quick Breath. The other one's called Ego Death. Quick Breath is... to figure out what that chord is. No. Sounds close. That's really close. I apologize to everyone in the stream. I need to figure out what this chord is. I don't know why I'm doing this. I have the project file. I can just go check the MIDI. That note's in there. I think that actually might be it. I hate music. It really is the worst form of expression. Okay. Yeah, I'll check the project file later. Even though it'd be easier to check the MIDI, I feel like it would be good to try and do it by ear before relying on it. Ah, yes, Jamie. This is the technique I've used to learn MIDI a song. Close to the right chord. Okay, go listen to Ego, Death, and Quick Breath, which I just tried to play a little bit of, and I will learn it maybe in the future stream. All of those things, all of them, guys, all of the things that I named can be found on the internet. Can be found Bandcamp. Oh crap. Bandcamp. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Groove, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. It does sound like Banjo-Kazooie. There's a Frou Frou song that does that same chord progression. We're gonna move on now. Go check those songs out. If you have time. If you don't, hey, we're all busy, right? As far as tours, merch, and shows and all that stuff, nothing to announce, guys. I'm just gonna be here doing the same thing every morning at 9 a.m. We're closer to the OBS stream. For the Fruity Loop stream, we're getting closer, guys. For if you're somebody that likes watching me make music, like produce it and arrange it, this could be good for you. This could be good for you. If you're not somebody that likes that, these will continue to happen. I will still do the morning medleys. I'm just going to be mixing in live production streams. I think one of the things that holds people back from live production, or holds me back from live production, not to project, is that I wanted it to look at least somewhat decent. I wanted to have a good internet connection. And also, there's this really weird thing with producing or performing. I could ask some of the visual artists this. If you do a live stream of visual art, do you ever feel slightly self-conscious that somebody that is also an animator or an illustrator will be in the stream and be silently judging you for some of the creative choices you're making? I think that is something that I've finally dispelled. You know, producing in front of people if I'm producing in front of, say, Peas a Bean, it's fun, right? Because Peas Bean might look and go, this is kind of interesting, or I don't care so much for this. But Peas Bean isn't necessarily going to have a very, very condemning, critical take on how I'm EQing a snare in a bridge or something like that, or how I'm automating my reverb. And I feel like, yeah, if there's like another producer in the stream, maybe they're looking at what I'm doing, they're like, this guy's a clown, this is trash. But you know what I say? Screw that dude. Enigma says, everyone is silently judging. It just depends whether you care. Yeah, I guess I just don't care most of the time. And now I don't care about the production thing either. Jimmy Flores says, it holds me back from doing live streams myself. I will say there are a lot of people that have come into this stream that can play piano better than I can, and it hasn't upset me. Somebody can make the argument that Sky, if you guys are familiar with Sky, you are, is a better piano player than I am. Sky plays music that's like Chopin-esque type music. Like, you know, she can play like classical music. I can't really play classical music. I can listen to freaking Mozart go like hamburger on the keys, and I'm not gonna sit there and go like, like I'm not gonna follow him. I can't do it. Maybe I don't have the dexterity, maybe I don't have the concern, but I can't do it. And so there are a lot of people that I come to the stream that I've spent time with that are more proficient piano players than I am, or know a lot more music theory than I do, but somehow it doesn't, you know, doesn't bother me. And I guess the production thing doesn't bother me either. Good Old Cup of Soup says, I came in on you talking about clowns. When did I talk about clowns? Oh, that was an actual clown. Are you talking about when I was talking about Blood on the Dance Floor? Is that when you came in? No one plays piano better than anyone. There's epicness in everyone's style. Oh, pressing down on tiles. I am a clown, Dark, but that's like, oh, I like that. Thanks, Good Old Cup of Soup. What a cool thing to say. Okay. Everyone, what a long ending to the stream. We've gone over news. I went over the platforms where you can listen to my music. This song is called Hush Hour. I finished the arrangement for it while I was in Hong Kong. Somebody please send me back to Hong Kong. I truly loved my time there. And I would like to return. PlayStation 5 event, y'all. Ooh. Guys, I love all the memes of homies wiling to their girls. That's like, you about to do this for the PS5. You gotta do this for the PS5. Like homies trying to get homies when the PS5 comes out. It's just dudes doing like the wildest stuff for their lady. Which is really funny to me because I don't think... no, I won't say why it's funny. But it is very funny to me. We still live, Nicholas, only for a few more moments. You did miss the last few streams, and you also missed this one, Nicholas. I'm joking, Nicholas. You got the last few minutes. Thank you for being here, and I do appreciate you for making the time, even if it was only a few minutes, to come in. Thanks for the stream, says Maddie. Thank you for the dog sound. Thank you for the $15, Maddie. Everyone have a Thief Thursday. Go steal something. Holy crap. Ah, Maddie's been radicalized. No, I probably will steal a... How can I flip that on its head and not make it actual crime? Steal a heart? Steal a smile? Steal a moment? Steal a... I'm gonna have to spend some time with that, Maddie. I gotta figure out what I need to steal today. Steal... thank you, Maddie. Thank you for that. Tomorrow, ask me what I stole, and hopefully I'll have an answer to it. Tomorrow is when I will see all you guys for stream number 156. Ah, yes. The last stream of the week. It's Friday, so that'll be the last time you guys see me for at least 2 whole days. Lucky y'all. Steal away someone's sadness. I don't want it though. I don't want their sadness. They can keep it. Um. Take care. Don't get caught. Says you say. Persona 5 heart stealing. Stealing a kiss. Pretty sure that's sexual assault. Never thought about that. Stealing a kiss. Used to sound so sweet, didn't it? Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. when we'll have Morning Medley number 156. Until then, please enjoy your day. As always, thank you for being respectful to me and polite to each other. It's more than I can ask for in these trying times. You guys get me started with a good day, so I'm going to go get something to eat. Thank you, Antec, for being in the stream. I'm glad you made the time. Thank you, everybody. Abo. Bum bee bum bee ba ba da ba.